प्ययन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Om. May all my limbs attain strength. May my body, mind, all sensory and motor organs and life force become efficient and strong. All is verily the one without second, all-pervading, blissful reality, the Brahman. Let me never deny this truth of oneness. May the Brahman never reject me either. May all the virtues needed to experience this truth in life be with me. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel that each of us is like an ice cube. And is kept at a warm temperature with all other ice cubes. Each of us, although apparently different, the difference is only in shape. And in the warmth, these shapes are changing, melting. As the ice cubes are melting together, each is losing its imaginary, fictitious separateness. Let us feel that oneness. All shapes and the names corresponding to those shapes are gone. All multiplicity gone. I am this absolute one without second existence itself. beyond time and space. I have no birth, no growth, no death. I am that I am. This is the absolute amness. There are no desires, for I am all that is. The intrinsic to true bliss has pervaded the whole existence. I am bliss itself. I am because of the intrinsic oneness. I am love itself. This is peace. Peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us continue with our study of Svetasvatara Upanisad. And today happens to be the last class that we may be needing to complete the study of the 5th chapter. Svetasvatara Upanishad has 6 chapters. This is the 42nd class today. And so we have studied now, let us say, almost 5/6 of this Upanishad. And this Upanishad is known as the Upanishad of devotion or bhakti, that because of its again and again reminding us about the God, the Isha, as well as the reference to the all-pervading, governing principle that is God, that governs everything. And by devotion to that being, we go beyond all sufferings and all doubts that has been mentioned in this discussion here again and again. So let's proceed to our today's discussion with our regular prayers. So please join me in reciting this prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May we be protected together. May we be nourished together. May we attain strength together. May our study make us illumined. May there be no dislike between us. So, we shall see now this. We had actually seen this verse last time, that how that one, due to association with various circumstances, that although one appears to be many, grows as per the circumstances available. So that one alone, it says, Sankalpa Sparshana Drishti Mohai Grasambu. What is it? I'll have to read from here. Grasambu Vrishtyatma Vivriddhi Janma Karmanugane Anukramena Dehi Sthane Shurupani Abhisampadhyate. So the Dehi, and the word is comes in Vedanta very often. Deha means body, and Dehi, the indweller. That we all feel that in this body there is something that is dwelling in, that is the conscious entity, and that does not change with the change of the body. For example, the body changes. You say, eat something, and now that thing has gone into the body has changed. But you know, still you remain the same. You do not change. You call somebody, like a little while ago, I received a call that I'll be coming today for this prayers and for the class. It is the first time that I am coming here. Now there is a gap between the call and then actual coming of the person. In between, the person might have done something, say eaten something, so the body has changed. But if I ask that person, were you the one that who had called and come? And then she will say, yeah, of course, I had called and came. So there is something, that does not change. Even if you have, say, a photograph of yours that was taken when you were, say, 2-month-old. And now 2-month-old photograph. Can you, Teresa, put it on your driving license? That will not be acceptable. You looked very different then. But still you will say that that's how I looked then. So there is something that does not change while the body, deha means body, the deha, the body and the mind, they undergo change. According to Vedanta, even the mind and intellect, emotions, that also is body, a subtle body, that's all. it is. So the Dehi, the indweller of that does not change. And then it is they still there is the appearance of difference. Somehow, looking at the body, we feel that the indweller also is different. That is how we get confused, that I here and I there. Are they different? They are not different. The same one being in different bodies takes different shapes, and then according to whatever the changes that get performed due to that, it goes on becoming more and more different and distinct. For example, the water. The same water, it gets filled into so many bottles. Then from bottles, it may be poured in glasses. Then it may be poured into the stomach. Now these are different receptacles, but the water that is in all of them is just same. It is water in this bottle and that bottle. Well, as water they are same, the bottles are different. So just think of it, yeah, we are all like these different water bottles, the Deha. Just imagine, stretch your imagination to feel this, that as bottles you are different, but the substance within, that is the same. And thus you come to where that oneness is, that Dehi, the indwelling being, is the same. Let us read the translation. By means of desires, contact, attachment, and delusion, the embodied soul assumes successively diverse forms in various places according to its deeds, just as the body grows when food and drink are poured into it. A very beautiful analogy, that the body changes as you pour food in it. It changes, it grows. So also you can see it in plants, the seed, then it gets nutrition from the surroundings, and then it grows, it becomes a big tree with all fruits and all that on it. So it grew. So also by getting entangled into various actions, it becomes different. Although intrinsically there is no difference, it appears different, and thus one gets deluded by the different appearances. This is our nature, that we get cheated because we get deluded by the appearance. We do not look inside and just go for the appearance. So, and thus we meet a lot of disappointments in life, and we wonder what's happening. I thought that this is like this. Well, it was, you went by the appearance, and see the reality within. This is a process, a practice, and that we have to learn. That is what the Upanishad is trying to tell. Okay, and learn to look within. Don't just go by the external appearance. It may look same, but it is not same. It is like an image, that a flower that you can see in the mirror, its reflection, very nice, exactly same like the flower that you would see. But then you see, that is, they look similar, but they are not same. And the one that is you are seeing the reflection will not have fragrance, and this will have the fragrance. So they are different in in content, but we get deluded by the similarity of appearance. Here it is reverse. We get deluded by the difference in appearance and thus miss the intrinsic oneness, that we are all one. I sometimes told that we used to go with our mobile dispensary to various villages, and then the medication is given to the patient, and then the medication, if that worked for that patient, he would come and say, please give me the same medication, it did very good for me, it was excellent for me. And the doctor would say, okay, surely, for a few more days you can take it. So would give this, prescribe the same medication. And when he would come to collect it at a different window in the van, then he would see and say, well, this is not that, because of the change in the appearance. Earlier the capsules used to be that last time when he picked that, it was blue capsules. Now the same thing is in the red capsules. So he says no, they were the blue ones, I want the blue ones, that blue medicine cured me. Now the medicine is not blue or red there, that is only the capsule. So inside that the medicine, so it needs to be to explain that it is that the appearances are just different, but the thing, because of the different appearances, it creates the illusion of different content also. The content is different, the content is not different, the container is different. So one has to always make this attempt to see the divine. Many times people ask, what is the practical spiritual life? How much I should meditate? Well, meditation you can do for a long time, but it is actually a constant meditation that one must undertake. Constantly one should meditate. Means what? The essence of meditation is to feel the oneness in spite of different appearances, which we do. Different in other respects we do, but somehow in discovering the one reality in all, we make mistake about it, we don't see it. We do not have the doubt that when we buy the water bottle from a store, now instead of picking this, somebody picks another one. We know that although they are different bottles, and actually the substance in both of them is identical. So similarly, we should make this conscious attempt to see the intrinsic oneness in whatever appears around. That attempt is spiritual practice. Whether we do it with closed eyes, that is the practice of meditation that is told, you sit and think of the all-pervading divine, whatever way it has been prescribed, or the way that we are practicing, that's fine. But that meditation sitting and with closed eyes, say for 1 hour or so, that must translate into this dynamic meditation. That is the spiritual practice to see beyond the cover. Like somebody is man, somebody is woman, somebody is, a cow, a dog, whatever it is. Now, these are the appearances. You see that it is the God appearing in the bottle called a man or a woman or a cow or a dog or whatever. It is this practice is to be carried on. That is as much as we can. If we do it for 24 hours a day, that is great. If we are not able to do it for 24 hours a day, let us do it as long as we can. It is, and as intensely as we can. The spiritual progress happens both, the extension and then the intensity. That it is, we may not be able to feel that oneness in all forms immediately. But by practice, as they say, practice makes one perfect. So practice. And gradually we will be able to feel this oneness. That yes, they are all same. And then what happens with that? The hatred and jealousy, they bid goodbye. Because why do we feel attractions, repulsions? Only depending on the external appearance. Now when we transcend it, then it is not possible to feel hatred. That is how you can see it in the life of great sages. Sri Ramakrishna used to say that, well, all I see that God has become all these things, these trees, these human beings, these animals, these pots, pans and all. It is God alone has been appearing in all these forms. You will see this is the principle in Vedanta being spoken of in various scriptures. For example, Bhagavad Gita says that look how a knower of divine, that it is Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Shvapakecha Pandita Samadarshinaha. That Panditaha means those who are wise. Wise in the sense now they can see within. They are not just focusing on the outer cover. It is, we do it all the time. For example, our marketing officer Vishwanath, so he buys, okay, Swami, I have bought ice cream. Now there is a box. Now did you buy the box or bought the ice cream? He doesn't say I have bought the box, because now the box is transcended. You are not seeing the box but seeing the inside of the box. So just everything is like that inside. Uncover that mentally, and then there is the God in every single thing. That whether it is in the appearance of Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane, a very pure person with a lot of study of scriptures and adorned by qualities like humility and so forth. And then there is a cow or there is a dog or there is a pig or an elephant, whatever. All these, in all these, that wise one sees the same divine oneness. That doesn't mean that the outer shapes are same. The difference in the outer shapes is recognized. But what is valuable is the inner reality. So therefore, this is how the spiritual practice is to be carried on. That there is the apparent side to everything. And there is the inner reality to that. So, the wise ones always judge by the inner reality, not by just the outer appearances. So, one has to train our understanding in that direction. This is what is called sadhana or spiritual practice. This is a constant training, friends. So, it is, and that is how you can see that the differences are only apparent because of the different actions, different works. The next verse actually clarifies it more. स्थूलानि सूक्ष्मानि बहूनि चैव रूपाणि देहि स्वगुणैर्वृणोति क्रियागुणैः आत्मगुणैव तेषां संयोगहेतुः अपरूपि दृष्टः. That the embodied self chooses many forms, gross and subtle, based on the qualities belonging to himself, to the actions, and to the mind. The cause of their combination is found to be still another. So, this is an interesting idea, that it is the cause of their combination is still another. Means this, what makes all these transformations and changes and appearances, that is still different than these beings. They are moving around, whirling around, and create an illusion of the difference. But actually they are not very different. As you see on the screen, the same one person, is going there walking. Now that person is in connection with that child. That person, that man is a father, lifting up the child and all that, playing with the child. So a person without any change, by association with this idea that this is my child, that man now has become father. That same person, when is doing the garden work, now has become a gardener. I do the gardening. So the person has not changed, but now doing garden, associated with garden, he is a gardener. Now he goes to his, he is say doctor by profession, and now there you see the picture with stethoscope and all that. So now that very person becomes doctor. So by association with different qualities, that person looks different. Then the person say his picture is put in a frame and hung there. And now that is also gets into the picture, as it were. The picture, a photograph of that person is put in a frame. Now, Is it that person? Well, yes and no. It is, you will say, well, look at that fellow. So, it is what we call body is also a picture, it is. So, it is a 3D picture, that's all, and with some robotic attached to it so that moves. But it is basically a picture. It's an interesting idea. Think about it. That the body is also like a picture. So, in and through all this, that Dehi, that word has come there, that Dehi, the indwelling being, is the same. By different associations, it appears to be different. That, to go to my job now, I am a doctor, immediately that becomes different. When that person is playing with his child, that person is different. When he's doing garden work is different. And then so many, varieties that how that person is. Many times in schools and colleges and all here, people ask me about this, that, well, do you Hindus worship many gods? I said, no, not really. Actually, Hindus do not have even one god. There are the monotheistic, there are polytheistics, but the Hindus are exactly neither of them. They are not polytheistic, but they are not even monotheistic, in the sense that there is not one God that rules this different universe. But it is the one without second reality. That one is that the Hindus think of as God is one without second reality. It is not a numerical one. It is not numerical one. And then when you say that it is, that very one can take various forms. So I give these examples that look, the same person, say think of a lady who is a school teacher. Now for her students, she is a teacher. For her own children, that same lady is mother. That same lady, when she goes to her doctor for checkup, then that very lady now is patient. So, for so many, that one being takes different forms. So that very one God can be worshipped in various ways. So, it depends on what connection you are forming with that, and then you worship the deity in various different ways, infinite moods and infinitely many ways that one can worship the same divine principle. So, this is an important idea that is being expressed here, that look, in all these different things there is this one divine principle that is to be recognized, and the way to feel it more and more is what is called the spiritual practice or worship. Feel that worshipful principle, and that is how one can keep on into this sadhana, to go on doing, and as one goes on doing, one starts feeling this evolution in life with that one sees. Just as what is this evolution? I was giving this example couple of days back, that look, it is, we were going from one place to another, from Detroit to Indianapolis. That was what was happening. So initially it showed on GPS that Indianapolis 214 miles. Okay, and then as you drive, what happens? After 1 hour, if you are driving on the right track, then the distance will be shown as, well, now Indianapolis is only 170 miles away, 150 miles away, and then you come very close, you start actually seeing Indianapolis just ahead of you. You enter the city, now the destination is just 4 miles away. So this is the progress is happening, isn't it? So we start moving closer and closer to that divine principle within as we pursue this practice of looking inside. It is not so easy because of the habits, we are caught into so many that habits are difficult to overcome, but by practice they can be overcome. So this habit of getting stuck to the external form, that is what gets called as attachment. We are attached to it and so are not able to see the reality within. So therefore we continue with this practice, and then we shall start feeling that divine awareness right within us. And how do we know that? This is not that it is either none or all. It is a matter of graded course. So one starts feeling the presence of the divine within, and one can experience the signs of that. And the signs means, as you were, I was telling you, you will see the distance between Indianapolis, Detroit and Indianapolis reducing. And you then will be gradually seeing the Indianapolis, you will be getting there actually. So this will be happening. So similarly, what we actually are striving for in life, that we call God. God is a word. It is a consolidation. As described in Vedanta, it is called Satchidanand. We will start feeling the real Sat, means true, unchanging, intrinsic existence itself. And then Chit, that the presence of this conscious being will be felt more and more. And most tangible sign is bliss, that a person's happiness will increase. What, Muni Krishna, do you want to be happy or not? Yeah, whether you are religious or not, nobody would say, I want to lead a miserable life. Nobody would say that. Nobody really wants to lead a miserable life. But what happens is, we all go through a miserable life, sufferings, because we are stuck to the external appearances. And thus, is going to be the result. Just take up the example that I was telling, that suppose Vishwanath says that this is ice cream, take this ice cream. Now it is boxed, and so if somebody says this is ice cream and keeps on licking the box from outside, that is suffering, getting caught in the external appearances, that makes us suffer. So what happens when we learn to go beyond, to penetrate, then that blissful experience we will start getting. And this bliss is very different in quality, very different in its nature. Normal happiness you get when the circumstances become congenial. It is dependent on circumstances. For example, it is a sunny, nice day with moderate temperatures, then you feel, it's a nice day. So you feel happy. Imagine the day, a lot of snow, you can't go out anywhere, it is very windy, you lost power because of that, and all that, so very cold, you have no power. Now all the happiness has gone because now it is circumstances. Suppose your favorite team wins the Super Bowl, then you become happy. Hey, yeah. So your happiness now does not depend on you. It depends on how those guys are playing, it is all, it is out of your control. So that is what is the problem with our happiness. It depends on, how my spouse is going to behave with me, and then it is not under your control at all. It is under the control of somebody else. So that kind of happiness is not this one that I am speaking about. It is coming from within, without any connection with the circumstances per se. That is where the quality of it is so different. Do you get it? What I want to, is it understandable? Yeah, so this is the sign that you get. As you progress, you start feeling more and more happiness, and then also as you start feeling that oneness, what happens? More and more love. Again, that love is of a different quality. In the world, one feels love depending on what you get from it. If you don't get from that person what you wanted, then that love goes away. It depends on what you get. So therefore you see, the love in this world is very transient, because it is actually depends on this the association, like a company or a partnership. It works when both partners are deriving profit from it. When there is no profit coming up, then the relationship breaks. No, the partnership breaks. So this is how the love in this world is, because it is not really love. It gets called by love, that's all. But here you start feeling love that is dependent on that intrinsic oneness, the reality here and the reality there. They are one and the same. They are not different. Imagine that kind of love, like in Taittiriya Upanishad, at the end, that sage, after seeing this truth, says, Sayaschayam Purushe Yascha Sau Aditye Sa Ekaha. The being, the indweller here and the indweller in this whole solar system, they are one. They are same. So as you get this awareness, imagine how strong that love will be. So that kind of love starts manifesting in one's life. So this is, again, does not depend just on external actions of love. Whatever externally it may appear that somebody is loving because giving a hug and so forth and saying some sweet words. That appears to be the sign of love for the untrained person. But then when you see the intrinsic love, for example, you can read Sri Ramakrishna is scolding left and right to somebody. It is, even when you read, you feel it's quite harsh. Sri Ramakrishna shouldn't have scolded like that. But it is still love, you see. Even though it appears like that, it is still love. So, the external appearance is different, but this love does not depend on that. And external appearance does not really show that it is love. In one book, there is a very nice book by Swami Satprakashanandaji, that Mind According to Vedanta, a very beautiful book. So he says, look, you cannot, by the behavior, you cannot make a judgment about mind. Because behavior could be similar, but the inside would be different, you see. And he gives a very nice example that, for example, on stage, and the actors show a lot of, sometimes love or lot of animosity, whatever. But that is all on this stage. It is, a lady would be holding a kid, oh my sweet child, on water, kissing several times, and oh, you are the dearest one in my life, and so forth. But after the stage show is done, the child goes somewhere, this lady goes somewhere, and no concern at all. Although the appearance was that of love. Was there love? No, there was no love. The appearance might be that of animosity and hatred. It is it's a lot of hatred. They are crucifying Jesus. So it is, the appearance is there. Afterwards, after the play is over, both the one who was doing the role of Jesus and those who were doing the roles of crucifiers, they all go and have a coffee at the Starbucks together, you see. There is no animosity there, there is no love there, but there is the appearance, you see. So it is, therefore, the love that a person who becomes spiritual is of a different quality, different nature. It does not depend on what I get out of it. No, it is, it has gone beyond it. It is I and you are actually one and the same. That is the principle. So this is how now the point is, the concluding verse of this chapter is coming up slowly. This is not the concluding one, but the next one. This one is about, that because of attachment to these names and forms, we get caught in this terrible mire. Anadyanantam kalilasya madhye vishwasya srashtaramanakarupam Vishwasyekam pariveshtitaram jnatva devam muchyate sarvapashaihi. That it says, realizing Him who is without beginning or end, who creates the cosmos in the midst of chaos, who assumes many forms and who alone envelops everything, one becomes free from all fetters. Muchyate sarvapashaihi, becomes free from all fetters. It is, this is very logically presented here, but still without giving up the devotional attitude. That is the beauty of Vedanta, that it is full of devotion. Many say that, well, these are Upanishads, where is devotion? It is all path of knowledge, Jnana Yoga. We want Bhakti Yoga. It is now, look at Swami Vivekananda, he says Upanishads are the best Bhakti Shastras, the scriptures of Bhakti, Upanishads. Because you see that real devotion does not mean divorcing from simple common rationality. And just see that why we become caught in this terrible mire, Kalila. The word Kalila is not translated with all its, the impact of that original word, that it is like a mire, that you are caught. It is all dirty something. It is all dirt, or that from the say in a drain you are caught, not able to get out of it. So something like that Kalila, all the thick, messy, smelly dirt, that you are caught in it. That is exactly our description, friends. Not that it is it is, that is what we are here. All that, but we somehow learn to give nice names to that which is dirt, so that we get attached to it. To get out of it, we have to see what it is. It is dirt. We think that all these are enjoyments and all that, and so you go and get attached to it, get caught in it. It is because we don't see what it is. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that, look what kind of enjoyment you have here. It is like that fruit that you get in Bengal. Looks like a nice mango thing, It is called amda. So amda, what is that amda? That fruit, has a very thick skin and a very big pit. So it looks quite attractive, so people buy. Now he says, what is there? Very little substance. A big skin that cannot be eaten, and a big pit that also has to be thrown. In between there is some kind of a, some mass there that could be eaten. But then that also creates colic pain inside. So that is how the pleasures in the world are. That is, I don't say that is at all exaggeration. That is how the pleasures in the world are. They appear like that. You try to get it. Work hard to get it. Thick skin, you have to peel it out, throw it, and then you see the big pit is there. Sticking to it is a little bit juice, and then that smells nice. So you eat it. They make some kind of a that spread with that chutney, they call it. They make it, and that now you eat it, and then afterwards you see your stomach starts telling, oh, pain and this and that. So and that is the worldly pleasures, you somehow get it, and then after getting it, you feel the pain of it. Oh, why did I go for this? So it is, this is Kalila. So get out of it. And then it is uh, see that Lord alone who has made this in the midst of this chaos, who creates this sense of connectedness, association. Please, one has to start feeling that what connects everything, what unifies everything, and that principle, that God, when you hold on to that, all the bondages are cut asunder. So this is the idea told here, and so the last verse actually tells us to therefore do that. It is bhava, what is it? Bhavagrahyam, anidakhyam, bhavavakaram shivam, that what is it? Let me say. Kala sargakaram devam ye viduste jahustanom. That it is that supreme divinity who created both life and matter, who is the source of all arts and sciences, who can be intuited by a pure and devoted mind, realizing Him, the blissful, the incorporeal, and the nameless, one is freed from further embodiment. All the bondages are thus thrown aside by this, by seeing this oneness of the indwelling reality. And then that has no name of its own. It gets only name by association with a body. Like here you call Charlie. That is the same reality, Charlie, isn't it? Hello, Charlie is sleeping. No, okay. So it is the same reality. By association with this body, that reality gets called Charlie, and then by association with that other gentleman sitting behind and gets called Abhijit. Same reality, here it gets called chair and so forth. So now, but that reality is nameless, anidakyam, a very beautiful word, that it doesn't have any particular name. Whatever name you give, okay, that's fine. So, but it is beyond all names, beyond all forms. So, knowing that it is, and say bhavakaram, that is beyond isness and is notness. It is beyond all appearances. So this is and then it is the creator of everything just by its being. So this is knowing this, one realizes the supreme truth. Here ends the 5th chapter of Svetasvatara Upanisad. One chapter is left. We shall take up the study of that from next Friday. Any questions about today's discussion? Oh, you have a question? Okay, please.
How do you get a pure and devoted mind? Because if you buy ice cream, you can look inside and see the ice cream, but Sri Ramakrishna and his disciples could see God, but I can't do that.
Well, it is like some people could be there who are not able to open the box. Yeah, it is. It was like, it is. There was a nice bread and some such things. and then I gave it to a dog, and because the dog was asking for it. But then it was put so that it would not get spilt around here and there. It was put in a plastic Ziploc bag. Now the dog didn't like the bag, so it could not get to the substance. That's the substance was liked, but the cover was the dog did not want to even approach it. So similarly, what happens is that that cover we are not able to open. It is, and the reasons are two. One is both are actually similar, that attraction and repulsion. When we get attracted to it, we stick to that cover and don't go to open it. And when we are repelled by it, again same thing, we do not open the cover. That's bad. This person is very nice. So you get attached to that person, again not getting attached to the substance. Or you are repelled, horrible, no, I will have nothing to do with that. So again the same thing has happened, that repulsion. So therefore Patanjali describes these two as this amongst the five torments that we have, that it is raga, dvesha, that it is attraction and repulsion, and they are terrible, because they change. What is attractive now becomes repulsive later, and what is repulsive at one point becomes attractive. But then you get caught in that, and thus do not learn to open it. So this is the learning, how to open the ice cream box. Yeah, so that is what is this sadhana. Learn to open the cover and see. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. And as an announcement, tomorrow we have a spiritual retreat given by Swami Ishadhyanananda, who is here actually sitting. He came late last night, and I will be giving this retreat on the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So in case you want to register for the retreat, you can do it in the bookstore. So and then on Sunday he will be talking about the suffering. So and then there is a music concert also after the Sunday talk in the evening from 6:15. It is a sitar concert by a very famous young sitarist, Josh Feinberg, who is coming from this Oregon, Portland, Oregon. So please come for that. Let us conclude with the closing prayers. Om. Oh, what happened? Oh, what happened? Okay. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.